Hey, this is Mark watching MTC Media. I'm going to admit to you, there is an angle among some Washington Commanders fan that I did not see coming until after yesterday's game. And it all comes down to Cliff Kingsbury. So after yesterday's passing game that looked less than ideal, after the game, there was a section of the Commanders fan base, and I don't want to say it's all and stuff like that because that's really talking out of pocket. But there was a section saying Cliff Kingsbury does not get a free pass with the passing offense because he has the second pick overall, and his predecessor Eric Bieniemy had to make do with a late round quarterback. So if Bieniemy could get something out of this late round quarterback, then they're expecting the same thing out of Jaden Daniels and Kingsbury, since Washington made it clear that they didn't want to keep Eric Bieniemy. Now, I'll address this. First of all, there was no reason to keep Eric Bieniemy because I know this much: if I get a job or if I were to get a job in the NFL, you darn right I'm picking my staff. Might not have been Cliff Kingsbury, but you darn right I'm picking my staff. So you can say that Bieniemy didn't get a fair shot or whatever the case may be. That's not a fair, unfair issue. Everything when it comes to that sort of stuff is not fair, unfair. It's not fair, unfair. And Bieniemy did take some criticism last year with some of his play calling and all these sort of things. And to be frank with you, not all of it, but there's a chunk of it that was absolutely positively warranted. It wasn't unfair. It wasn't out of pocket. It was warranted. That being said, that particular section of the fan base is going to treat Cliff Kingsbury the same way. If you want to say that your predecessor had to make chicken salad out of chicken bleep with a late round draft pick as your quarterback, then you know what? If you have the second overall pick or the second overall quarterback chosen, then you know what? I'm going to hold you to the same standard, if not a higher standard. So again, it was just something. I'm not choosing sides on this. It's just something I did not think of, and something I didn't even aware that some of the fan base was thinking amongst these lines until yesterday after the game. I started seeing and hearing these comments. I was like, whoa, pump the brakes. I didn't know this existed. So, hey, we'll see how this works for old Cliff. Remember now, Cliff Kingsbury was set to accept the Raiders offensive coordinator job. In fact, it had been reported that he was going to the Raiders. And just out of nowhere, and I think there was some contractual things over there with the Raiders, but then out of nowhere he flipped and went to the Commanders. So it's only week one. Let's see how this offense progresses. And remember, with this quarterback and this coaching staff and the new front office and the new ownership group, the goals and the timeline on the goals are much different. It's much more prolonged than what Bieniemy had with Ron Rivera. This is Marcus Washington, MTC Media.